Ever noticed how some brands seem to have the biggest wins and the fastest growth? Think Slack, Airbnb, MailChimp, Monzo, the list goes on. You've seen this in action yourself. You find a company that just seems to resonate with you and you get what they're about. You might not be able to put your finger on exactly what it is, but you just seem to like them immediately. They feel different even if what they sell is kind of the same. What is that? The answer is amazing brand positioning. Today we're going to look at how to audit your brand's existing positioning to get this effect. Or if you're a new company, design your positioning from the ground up. First up, what do we mean by positioning? Positioning should form your brand rules. These are the things that set you apart from your competitors. Without great positioning, you might find that your customers find it difficult to know why they should buy from you rather than your competitors. This can be especially clear in very competitive markets. And by the way, positioning isn't just about how your brand looks either. It's about the way that you communicate through all of your marketing activity, on your website, in your social posts, in your PPC ads. Let's look at the Instagram profiles of two vegan shoe brands so you can see exactly what I mean. This first one, Will's Vegan Store, has lots of pictures of people getting outdoors. They're on the beach, they're in the park, they're out walking, climbing mountains, posing in rustic settings, lots of nature. So it feels like there's a clear audience of maybe slightly more wealthy, affluent customers. They're selling a lifestyle that needs reliable shoes that last a long time. And the price point and presentation of the products on their website reflects this. But this brand, Koi Footwear, couldn't be more different. This is people wearing alternative fashion in predominantly urban locations. This definitely feels like it's catering to a younger audience who are going to be more price conscious. And that matches perfectly with the products listed on their website. So whilst these shoes might not last as long as the ones from Will's Vegan Store, they're priced to reflect that and they'll help their customers keep on trend for a lower price. When you take it right back to basics, these two businesses are basically selling the same thing, vegan shoes. But the way that they're positioned means that they appeal to completely different customer groups. And as a side note, this is one of the ways that smaller brands can compete with larger brands, by identifying a particular customer segment that's not being well served and by optimizing their product offering to resonate with that audience. So here's how to build or refine your brand's positioning. To start building your positioning wall, you're going to need the following bricks. And don't worry, we're going to go through these in a bit more detail and look at some examples in just a sec. First up, competitor positioning. So this is looking at how your competitors are positioning themselves in your space. Customer and persona pain points. So what worries and objections your potential customers might have, why they would and wouldn't buy from you, their buying habits and more. And by the way, if you don't have a buyer persona yet, stick around until the end of this video and we'll show you how to make one. Your positioning and messaging guide. So this is the positioning that you choose and how you plan on communicating it. And your positioning in action. This is how you plan to communicate your positioning in your daily marketing. So let's go through each of these steps in turn and look at some examples so that you can start building your positioning or audit your brand's existing positioning yourself. Or if you'd rather have one of the marketing experts here at Exposure Ninja take a look at your brand and positioning, request a free website and marketing review. All you need to do is go to exposureninja.com and fill out the short questionnaire. We'll then send you a 15-minute video showing you how to generate more leads and sales through your website and online using digital marketing strategies like the one we're talking about today. Go to exposureninja.com/review to request your free website and marketing review today. Right, let's start with competitor positioning. You can't make changes to your existing positioning if you're not sure what else is out there and what you're going to be competing against. You need to know which spaces are being filled and which spaces are empty. So being able to dig and see what your competitors are doing is the knowledge that you need to stand out. When we're doing this for clients, we'll do things like analyzing their competitors' websites, analyzing their social posts and how they present through social media, looking at any display ads and PPC ads that they're running through things like the Meta ad library. And often we're looking for the messages that they consistently emphasize and the implied positioning in the imagery and the style of the posts that they're sharing. Of course, you want to look for the areas that they're doing really well so you can copy, mimic, and take influence, but you also want to look at the areas that they're falling behind so you can ruthlessly exploit them. For example, you might notice your competitors' websites aren't particularly clear with the audience that they're targeting, so you know, okay, we need to make sure our audience is super clear. Or you might see that your competitors are getting loads of negative comments on social media about their customer service. Well, that might tell you that you want to emphasize that aspect of your offering. For example, look at how different Lemonade's website is to Agria Pet Insurance. Both of these companies are selling pet insurance, but to completely different audiences that have totally different values. Lemonade is all about speed, service, ease of use, whereas Agria is focusing on trust. So maybe when you're doing your competitor analysis, you notice that one of your competitors has a fantastic tone of voice and you want to make sure that your tone comes across as well as theirs does. For example, if we look at MailChimp versus Klaviyo, we see that they have a completely different perspective. Some customers might opt for Klaviyo over MailChimp because Klaviyo might feel more serious and like a safer option, whereas some people might go for MailChimp because MailChimp seems more fun and interesting and more aligned with their personality outside of work. What you're really going for when you choose your positioning and your style is that you get that feeling in your customers that, this business gets me. So when you're comparing yourself against your competitors, think about why would somebody choose them over you. Don't just focus on price here. Think about how they're positioning themselves to be more attractive or safer or more appealing to those customers. Another example here, look at how Asana and Teamwork, both project management software companies, position themselves differently on their product pages. Notice how Asana is focusing on statistics like improving employee satisfaction, improving the company's efficiency. They're talking about the benefits of scale and how many large companies use Asana. Meanwhile, Teamwork is talking about how Teamwork is the best option if you're managing a lot of client work. They're very specifically focused on service companies who need things like time tracking and collaborating with clients. You should also consider why someone might not want to buy from your competitors based on their positioning. And sometimes it might be because their positioning and what they're selling is a bit mismatched. For example, maybe their tone is really fun and young, but actually their target audience is more serious and mature. We recently worked with a luxury clothing brand selling high quality sportswear, and the quality was reflected in the price, but their branding was really youthful. Their ads got loads of clicks from younger, more budget hungry customers who were expecting to see fast fashion products at fast fashion prices. So we needed to help this brand reposition their offering to cater to a demographic that had higher disposable income and cared more about the quality of their products than just purely being trendy. Finally, try and notice the things that your competitors are doing really well. Maybe they have a super clear target audience and the objections that they handle on their website are absolutely nailing this audience's fears and concerns. Or maybe the content they're pushing out exactly matches where their audience is at and the things that they're interested in. Or maybe the imagery that they use really effectively communicates how they think they stand out in your space. For example, notice how on the website of D2C shaving company Supply, they've got this great headline, high performance grooving. The product imagery looks really high end, it looks really premium, so customers know from the look of this website and even just a few words of copy that this is going to be a more premium offering. So think about how your own first impressions, things like headlines and product imagery, reflect your positioning in the market. Once you've had a look at your competitors, you also need to have a look at your customers, both your existing customers and your ideal target customers. Now, we're going to be focusing on their pain points, but you also want to ask them other questions like what they're worried about, what are their objections to purchasing from you, what they like about your brand, what was it that made them choose you over the alternatives, what their demographics are and which social groups they identify with, what their buying behavior is like. For example, do they tend to do loads of research before buying something, or are they really impulsive? A quick tip on this, people aren't always great at identifying their own behaviors and patterns, so you might need to ask them for some examples. Say, how did you choose what car to buy, for example? Other ways that you can connect with your target customers are putting a survey together and running it across social and email marketing, paying for market research, which is a great option if you're a brand new business with no existing customers, or you're looking to target a new audience, checking out data research from companies like GWR, YouGov, or Gallup, and of course, doing some social media stalking. I mean research on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, wherever your audience is hanging out. You can also look at who's engaging with you most on social media, and do these people represent your perfect ideal customer? Finally, you can look through your customer email history, your reviews, and live chat responses to find the common issues and questions that come up from your customers. You can use this research along with your buyer personas to establish the pain points of your ideal customer and what you're going to do to resolve them. A great example is UK insurance company DirekVim. Now, previously, getting home insurance claims paid out has been a bit of a nightmare. So if there's an emergency, the customer has to put their hand in their pocket and cross their fingers that they get the payout later on. DirekVim knows this, and they've used some of these pain points in their positioning. For example, offering to fix your uncontrollable leaks really quickly, sending you a replacement device within 2 hours. They're positioning themselves not on price, but as the insurance company that you really need to get back up and running as quick as possible. Of course though, your positioning needs to be authentic with the service that you're offering. It'll be pointless for DirekVim to focus on the backup that you need if you were on hold for 6 hours waiting to get hold of someone while your leak was pouring through your house. That type of mismatch between positioning and what you're actually offering can lead to really problematic reviews, so it's important to make sure your positioning on the front end is consistent with your offering on the back end. Now you want to define your positioning clearly so you can make sure it's implemented consistently. Start by reviewing your personas and your competitors. What's most important to your personas and how do you stand out against your competitors? Now, quick tip here, if you're struggling to pin down the exact positioning that you want, try thinking about just a few words that represent it. For example, personalized service, trustworthiness, ease of purchase. Okay, let's compare two brands selling the same thing, life insurance, and see if we can identify what their positioning is. Now here's Dead Happy. Their positioning is very much about rebellion and wanting to seem completely different to other life insurance companies. There's a sort of anarchistic vibe here, everything from the logo with the A being upside down to some of the hand-drawn fonts. They focus on ease of use, get life insurance in a jiffy, and they have this sort of morbid sense of humor, like make a death wish, which is basically choosing where you want your life insurance payout to go. Just in case you didn't realize they were trying to be different, they use phrasing like life insurance redesigned to show that they're focusing on being an alternative to what else is out there. It's clear that they want to focus on being a rebellious brand and they have a younger audience. Look at this wording here. Our prices are based on who you are today, not that wrinkly weirdo you might be in 20 odd years. Well, that's not going to go down particularly well with the wrinkly weirdo demographic, is it? By contrast, let's have a look at Polly. Polly also sells life insurance, but you can see they are targeting mothers. They call out their audience there and they emphasize the parts of life insurance that are going to be most important to mothers. They're using super emotive language, like every 22 minutes in the UK, a child loses a parent they depend on financially. This is designed to go straight into the heart of the mother whose worst fear is leaving their children unable to fend for themselves. By choosing this really specific audience, they can focus the copy lasered on mothers. Every word on this site is calibrated towards this target audience. So just like the vegan shoes example earlier, these two businesses are essentially selling the same thing, life insurance. But look at how their positioning means that how they communicate this product, how they resonate with their audience, and how they communicate the benefits of what they do against others is completely different. Is your positioning this clear? Is your target audience as evident from the copy and the design of your website? So think about how your positioning needs to be communicated on your website and the different aspects of your marketing that your potential customers will meet as they go on that journey to become a buyer. This is where positioning in action comes in. This is where you take all of the positioning work that you've done and figure out exactly how to implement it in your daily marketing activities. For example, if part of your positioning is about speedy service, you're going to need a statement for your website that communicates this really quickly. Like, talk to a real person 24/7 within 5 minutes. Something like that feels real to the customer and communicates so much of what you're about. Of course, this needs to flow through to your service teams. Customers can't be on hold for hours. Service reps need a quick, speedy script that can get to the heart of the issue and get it resolved as quickly as possible. If you have a quote process on your website, for example, this needs to be snappy. The UX needs to be very speedy to get the information out of the potential customer and into your quote engine as quickly as possible. Or say your positioning is all about ease. Well, you need to make it as easy as possible for people, even at the top of the funnel, to get the information that they need from you, maybe by signing up to your newsletter or downloading the guides or becoming a member or whatever your call to action is. Every marketing touch point needs to reflect those same values. This is all about the consistency of the experience. Maybe someone in the middle of the funnel needs to be able to learn a lot about your products simply from your pages rather than having to talk to people or hunt out information elsewhere. The person at the bottom of the funnel needs to convert quickly through a fast checkout or easy to fill in forms that have drop downs rather than requiring people to type out loads of info. Or maybe your positioning is all about sharing knowledge, in which case you need to be posting loads of content on your blog or in your knowledge base. You need downloadables and guides that people can check out to learn more about what it is that you do. If your positioning involves sharing knowledge, then your top of funnel content is going to be loads of information, sharing your expertise, maybe giving people downloadables and ebooks that they can get in return for an email address. Your middle of the funnel messaging might include practical ways that your customers can improve their lives and get closer to their goals. Your bottom of the funnel calls to action might involve sharing knowledge from your team with people through a free consultation or a free website and marketing review from a marketing expert. Let's look at how disruptive banking app Monzo positions themselves throughout their funnel. The content at the bottom of the funnel really emphasizes youthful energy and ease of use. On social media, it's all memes, brightly colored posts, and tips and tricks for young people to manage their money. Their middle of the funnel content really highlights the benefits of banking with Monzo linked to their positioning. Using phrases like banking made easy, open a full UK bank account from your phone, online banking that makes a statement. Get it? This is clearly targeted at a younger audience that wants a much easier and more modern experience with their bank. For their bottom of the funnel traffic, if you head to the sign up page, you get directed to download their app. The steps listed on this page are really simple. Download the app, have some ID ready, you're done. On the homepage, Monzo highlights that setting up a bank account is really easy. They know that their audience values a really fast and easy experience, so that's what they emphasize. So you can see how your positioning applies to all areas of your marketing funnel, from the top of the funnel, where you're using particular language and colors and images to call out your perfect customer, all the way down to the bottom of the funnel, where you're mentioning the specific things that you know your customers most care about in order to motivate them to take an action. So if you followed this 4-step process, researching competitor positioning, finding customer and persona pain points, identifying your positioning and messaging, and putting your positioning into action, your brand's positioning should be much clearer than it was before, and chances are much clearer than most of your competitors. Of course, this process works best if you have a solid customer persona built out. If you haven't done that yet, then check out this video which shows you exactly how to do it step by step. Thanks for watching and subscribing, and let us know in the comments who's your favorite brand based on their positioning. Until next time, see you soon.